So I was just talking about, you growing up, around the corner.
Well, with him growing up around the corner, and there were times, and he told us, maybe not enough food in the house, instability with mom.
Oh, yeah.
What did you see in Garland that made you think, that this kid's gonna make it?
Well, because he was always smiling. He always smiled, whether he wanted to or not. He would smile, come over here a lot, to sit down and talk. If I needed something on the computer, I don't care how challenging it was, he did it. You would be surprised at how many hours we said, Garland, I don't know. Well, okay, all right, I'll do it. And for hours, he just sit and help me on the computer.
At a time when carjackings were spiking, I took a pretty deep look into the dynamics of that, and I found that the majority of carjackings, end of 2021, the first part of 2022, were being committed by juveniles. We do stories over and over about victims of crime, but rarely do we go to the other side, and that was one of the reasons we wanted to talk to Garland Skipper. Now, just to be clear, Garland was never accused of a carjacking. He did have serious run-ins with the law that landed him in juvenile detention twice.
But one thing I could say about him, he always came around here. He always sat and talked. He never cussed. He was very respectful, very respectful, very mannerable.
What is remarkable about Garland is that he did a kind of self-directed course correction after a couple of stints in juvenile lockup, including some of the worst, most notorious, dangerous, and violent juvenile lockups.
He could definitely write a book about surviving and having to go on to jail and did his time, and you don't want to see him in trouble.
He took an inventory. He took an internal inventory of where this was heading. He had been through a lot of trauma.
Broad, widespread damage report.
During Katrina, we was there for almost, 2 weeks towards a month, waiting on the helicopter, because we was up there around 2nd and Drive.
My heart is heavy tonight. I don't have any good news to really share.
So we stayed, I was up actually the night of Katrina though. It was scary, because how I couldn't go to sleep. They were saying it was devastating, how I could kill people and stuff like that, so it had me kind of scared. And the next day the water came. It wasn't no water that day. The next day the water came, yeah.
That's right. What do you think of that?
The storm was already enough. Power was out. It was hot in the house. Had to go find food. The store was closed. We was hungry and stuff that day. It was me, my sister, and my 2 brothers, and my mom. But we saw people going in the store, so we went in the store too to go get something to eat. We just had to survive, basically. Yeah, then went to Baton Rouge out of there. And I got arrested when I was 13.
13?
Yeah, it was attempted murder and attempted armed robbery.
What were the circumstances?
With the wrong friends, basically, at the wrong time. We had went to the store and it was like late. So I really actually didn't really know what was going on or what was happening. I was just knew around Gardera, and I know I had to be with them because it got dark and I didn't know my way home. I wasn't carrying a gun though.
I'm sorry?
I wasn't carrying a gun.
Okay, but they called it attempt murder. Somebody fired a shot?
According to what they said, yeah.
Okay, sounds like someone did get shot. Right. When you got in that incident in Baton Rouge, an attempt armed robbery, attempt murder, somebody in your pack pulls a gun, shoots a guy, that was not that alarming to you?
Yeah, it was alarming to me.
Yeah.
I wasn't really cool with it.
You were not cool.
But it just that it was dark. I was new around there, and I was with them, and we was going to a store. My first time going to the store, and I didn't know how to get back home, and my family wasn't home, so I had stuck with them.
One thing that really struck me as we were getting to know him, you think and hear about programs You know, when you're locked up in, juvenile jail or found responsible for a crime, you go to, a juvenile detention center for a period to supposedly continue your education, get counseling. He was not getting that kind of help, and he was actually kind of a big insight into what it's like on the inside of JJIC, the Juvenile Justice Intervention Center, as it's now called, Youth Study Center, when he was there. Not getting much in the way of education, not getting much in the way of counseling. How did that experience of, being locked up, juvenile lockup, affect you, impact you? What was running through your mind?
I mean, my 14th birthday.
Oh, did you? What was the thought? Here's your birthday. Normally, I guess, as a kid, you have birthday celebrations.
No, most of my birthdays, I don't know. I don't really have celebrations for my birthday. My mom did the best they could, though, but, we grew up, I ain't really get my birthday celebrated like that, so I don't really know. It started helping me understand and seeing how the jails and stuff was making other dudes. Like, it feel like it'll break some other dudes the way they just be, like, messed up. And I knew I wasn't gonna let nobody be able to break me like that and stuff. And try to help other brothers, too, though. You either be dead in jail or you be a hustler or something. How do you sell drugs to your own people again and keep the cycle going? Like, trying to fight against all that and the corruption with the system and stuff. That's really hard, but I maintain, man.
It's sad to see someone like Garland slip through the cracks. And I know systems are large and they're bureaucratic and they may not have the kind of mechanisms to look at individuals, but let's face it, New Orleans is a big, small town. We can do this. We can focus on individuals who are in need on a close one-on-one and continuing basis and turn this thing around.